YouTube! Yeah, my nose is just getting horrible. I'm like flying tissues. Look at this. Anyway, this is going to hopefully be my reaction videos to, finally, to Supergirl Season 1, Episode 14, titled Truth, Justice, and American Way, which, like, originally aired, like, February 22nd, and it's, like, March 4th. It's, like, way back there compared to every other thing I just posted. Which I'm sorry, I really am. I tried posting on Monday, the day Episode 15 premiered. Didn't happen because laziness happened. I tried doing it on Tuesday. Still didn't happen. So, like, here I am doing it now. So let's do this. Anyway, from what I remember, you pretty much start off with Kara and Alex talking about, you know, Kara's work and what happened with Astra's death. And then all of a sudden, Non, if you remember Non, I don't even know how to pronounce that name. N-O-N shows up and asks Kara to pretty much pay her final respects to her aunt, whose body is pretty much floating in some sort of, like, pod that kind of looks like a, you know, a floating pod coffin thing going on. And, you know, she agrees to it naturally. Apparently there's some sort of truce in order to pay respects to, Astra. But anyway, the members of Astra and her husband's army are looking on in mourning. You know, Kara pretty much says the Kryptonian prayer before Astra's body, and then they pretty much send it to space, and then Non basically warns, Kara, you know, the next funeral that's going to happen is going to be yours, which I'm not surprised he's pissed, because he naturally assumes Kara's the one that killed Astra, right? So I don't blame him for naturally, you know, assuming Kara's the one that killed Astra, and wanting to kill her next, you know what I mean? And, Kara pretty much tells Alex and Hank back at the DEO everything that transpired, the whole funeral thing going on, and, you know, warns them that Non's planning to kill her, and he won't do anything for the next 2 weeks, because apparently in Kryptonian rites or something like that, or Kryptonian tradition, the Non is going to mourn for 2 weeks, according to Kara. Which, I never knew they had that kind of custom, which is kind of interesting to learn that they have that custom if someone dies. Is that only for, like, Non because he's the husband of Astra, or is that for every Kryptonian that you have to mourn for 2 weeks? I don't know. But apparently that's the rule. But anyway, Kara is still visibly upset about the death of Astra and upset with, Hank, aka John Jones, because she believes John is the one that killed, Astra, when in fact it was actually Alex and he just took the blame. And, yeah, she's obviously upset about Astra. She's obviously mad at Hank for, because she naturally assumes he's the one that killed her because he took the blame for Alex. And, during the whole thing, she actually does visit Max in his little cell, who literally is, like, getting all frustrated and wants to get out and shit and all that stuff. He's, like, he's really, really going all feral back there in that little... I don't really blame him. He's been there for a while, so I don't really blame him for going a little feral in that little prison cell thing going on. And, he pretty much demands to be let out and shit, but Kara just says no and all that, which I don't blame her because Max has been up to no good for the longest time, but at the same time, I don't blame Max for, like, wanting to get the hell out of that cell, because you could do so much in that tiny-ass little see-through looking cell thing going on. Yeah, no, I would go crazy too. But anyway, back at Catco, Wynn pretty much informs Kara that Cat actually hired a new assistant. And the new assistant, I don't know how to pronounce this name. I'm going to spell it out for you guys first, and then I'll attempt to say it. So her first name is spelled S-I-O-B-H-A-N, and her last name is S-Y-M-T-H-E. I'm guessing her first name is pronounced Siobhan, Smith, I don't know, Siobhan. But anyway, yeah, that's the new assistant to Kat, and, Kat, who's apparently still butthurt about, her son being dumped by Kara, pretty much hired Siobhan, and now calls Siobhan her number 1, and calls Kara number 2, which in turn pretty much makes Kara feel ultimately worthless, honestly, and I'm surprised how butthurt really Kat is about, Kara, you know, dumping Adam and missing. I can understand if she's kind of because Kara missed a week of work. But she's seriously butthurt about Adam. I mean, come on, hiring a new assistant and downgrading Kara to your number 2 assistant. Damn. But anyway, Kat, she wants information on Maxwell Lord's disappearance, because apparently she suspects something's wrong and that he's actually disappeared, while everyone else assumes that, you know, Max is, like, on vacay or something. That's why no one knows where he is, with the exception of, James and Kara, who know, and Wynn, of course. But anyway, James pretty much informs Kara about this and, like, reminds her, you know, you can't hold him hostage against his will. And, Kara pretty much rebuffles that, saying, you know, Bizarro's one of the main reasons why the DEO does not want to release him, and, they have a little fight about that, the fact that, you know, hang on, my camera's falling, okay? They pretty much have a mini argument about that, like, Jimmy's pretty much telling, Kara, you can't hold that man against his will, it's not right, it's, like, unjust, you know what I mean? And Kara, he even informs Kara that Supergirl's ethics seriously might be compromised because of it, and I don't really blame him, because although Kara, like Superman, does not kill, Superman does not hold people, like, seriously hostage, especially, like, a normal human being, I'm just saying. I mean, sure, he's a dick, and Bizarro happened because of Maxwell Lord, but you just straight up took him against the law. It's, the supers, including Superman, has always been about law, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying. But anyway, apparently, meanwhile, during all that, an escaped Fort Ross prisoner is about to be taken in by DEO agents who found this person, and, they corner the fugitive in a warehouse, but they discover that someone else has already chained the alien in the warehouse, and, pretty much attacks the DEO agents for interrupting. And this person who attacks is apparently someone wearing this badass looking armor, like, looks so freaking futuristic, gladiator looking, I'm just saying. But anyway, like, basically he flies off and takes the Fort Ross prisoner with him, and we find out that this attacker is someone named Master Jailer, or something like that. And I actually looked up Master Jailer. It sounded semi-familiar, not that much, but I looked it up, and apparently, from what I got, Master Jailer goes by the name of Carl Draper, is an enemy of Superman. He has gone by the names of Kator, Master Kator, Master Jailer, and Death Trap. Made his first appearance in Superman Volume 1, number 331. And apparently Carl Draper grew up in Smallville and was in love with Lana Lang. Lana Lang only had pretty much eyes for Superboy. And so, yeah, Draper did not like that. But anyway, I'm not going to get into too much detail about who he is, but he is in the comics. But anyway, Master Jailer pretty much becomes judge, jury, and executioner by pretty much, he captures any prisoners that were in Fort Ross and pretty much guillotines them to death. So it's like, and it's like a very futuristic guillotine. It looks so futuristic, and instead of like a normal blade, it's like a laser. And it's like, well, shit. Like, when I saw that guillotine, I was like, can you make that any more, futuristic? I'm just saying. But anyway, Alex and Jean try to find out about their latest threat. Kara comes in and demands to be included in the investigation. And, as Jean only suggested they check the local law enforcement to see if any missing person cases matches with the missing Fort Ross prisoners. And, I'm not surprised that Kara's kind of pissed about that, because it's like, Jean and Alex only informed cops about this whole thing, and not her. And, like, I don't blame her for being kind of angry about that, especially when she's still angry because she naturally assumes that Hank is the one that killed her aunt. But it's like, she's kind of taking it a little too far in the whole, Bitterville right now. But anyway, they have this hunch, which later is checked out at the National City Police Department, thanks to Detective Draper. And, they discover that the Master Jailer has been involved in executing a bunch of bodies and disposing them in the river, apparently. And Alex and Hank become more suspicious of Draper's partner, Detective Warren, because he just seems out of place when they're asking questions, because he seems kind of butthurt about everything, honestly. That's why they become suspicious of him and not Draper. But I knew better, because Draper sounded very familiar. So, the name Draper, it sounded familiar. It didn't ring in the top of my head that Draper and the Master Jailer dude were the same person. Until, like, pretty much later on. But anyway, over at Catco, you know, Shaban, she pretty much wastes no time in calling out Kara over the fact that she believes that Kara's flirting with James. And it's so funny because Kara, like, pretty much snaps when Alex calls her later on and asks her to come back to the DEO. And it's like, Shaban is literally getting under Kara's skin. And it's actually kind of funny considering they just met, and, you know, Kara's, like, in the beginning, she's trying to, like, get along with Shaban, despite the fact that she's pretty much been demoted to, like, second assistant to Kat. I think it's really funny seeing Kara actually dealing with, like, a human problem when it comes to, like, her normal human job. It's, like, really funny. It's, like, you know what that reminds, you know that one movie, what was that one movie with, shit, what was her name? The one with the Devil Wears Prada. You remember that movie? If you guys seen that movie, you will understand what I'm saying when you say Kara, Shaban, and Kat. It reminds me of the core trio ladies of Devil Wears Prada. You will understand if you watched it. But anyway, sorry. My nose is like really stuffy, so I'm trying to talk as fast as possible without sneezing or blowing my nose. And I'm sorry if you can't understand a word I'm saying. Oh, hang on. Okay. Anyway, Shaban also gets under Kara's skin by telling her that she's pretty much slacking in her job. And so, I'm not surprised Kara wants to punch her in the face, quite honestly. But anyway, Lucy shows up and shows pictures to James that she took. Basically, she took some pictures, took it to James, and then she believes that Max is being held by a secret government organization. She knows the government organization because she met them with her father, but she naturally assumes that James doesn't know who they are, so she just says a secret government organization that tracks aliens, which in turn prompts James to accidentally slip out that he knows about the DEO, which thoroughly surprised Lucy, because naturally Lucy already knows because she was there with her father, meeting the DEO and everything. She actually is quite surprised that Jimmy knows him. Sorry, I keep calling him Jimmy. James knows himself about the DEO, and Lucy ends up becoming jealous because the reason why James knows about the DEO is because of the Supergirl, and so she becomes jealous of Supergirl, just like she was jealous of Superman before. Anyway. I am slowly running out of time. Anyway, at the DEO, they learn that the prisoners are identified by number and that the Master Jailer is picking them off one by one in order of their jail number, which is a very nice and proficient way. He's very organized, I'm not gonna lie to you, because tracking them down by number, very organized guy. It's amazing. Anyway, the DEO pretty much gets a break when the jailer shows up to make another kill. This time going after a professor who apparently is another Fort Ross prisoner, and Kara shows up on time to stop him, but the fight pretty much leaves the jailer victorious. And not only does he take the prisoner, which is the professor, he ends up taking Kara as well, chained up and shit. And I just realized I am running out of time, so this will be a part 1 video. But anyway, this will most likely finish in a part 2 video, because there's not much. Well, from what I see, there's not much information. I got a lot of information in one video, not gonna lie to you. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video, and stay cool, guys.